All right, the Joticle Learning Platform, this is the web version, and the iOS and Android version follow pretty consistently with this. Obviously, there's constraints based on their platform or their delivery, but overall, the content is all from the same database, and the structure and workflow is all the same. When you are logged out or just using the system to learn, there is no paywall, there is no pre-registration required to learn and search. So the second I am logged in to Science, I have full access to start scanning what I want to look at. And if I'm in apiculture, I'm going to jump into apiculture. And now I'm looking at the different structures of what apiculture is, and I can start breaking down my learning process into smaller chunks of information. Also included, without pre-registration or paywall, we have scientific glossary terms that are general to science, and that's within the core container of the category. And then specific to this learning pod, which is apiculture, you'll get terminology related to beekeeping. And we just break these things down into viewable chunks. And once you get to a certain something you want to learn about, you can then go down that path. So we have all that accessible and usable without being a subscriber. And then obviously there's the ads that are running and some other information. So this covers everything for a non-subscriber. You do, again, have full access to our categories. And we also have broken out STEM, and it's a core learning segment, and then all the other categories that follow. We have access as well to the Joticle Learning Pod, which tells you everything about Joticle, the lingo we use from JOTs, what a JOT is, which is a very small piece of microlearning, to what a learning pod is. And so this just gives you a reference into everything that Joticle is about. And then on top of that, if you're in our corporate pod, you have full access to our company info, who we are, our cookie policy, our disclaimer. All of this is built into a learning pod. So it's a website within itself. A learning pod essentially is our way of delivering our company information in a very structured format and then guiding you to where we want you to go. We have our Joticle Advisory Board, and you can see that we've just started this with Dr. Shameen. Very excited about having her on board and what we're doing with that. So that's the non-subscriber format. Now, once you log in, you'll see a whole new header banner that's specific to call to actions of creating a JOT. Again, the JOT is that microlearning experience. We either do that internally or with our experts and educators, or you can create your own JOTs with your personal pod as a view of what you see exciting about a specific topic. So right off the bat, this all changes right here. You have my JOTs trending, following, and liked. You can see who you're liking, the JOTs that you liked, and trending JOTs that might be of interest to you. And then again, the JOTs that are the ones I've created. And then ultimately what it comes down to is creating a JOT. And so creating a JOT is a process of you either create a story with an image, an audio JOT, or a video JOT. Each of these is a specific type of information. When you go into, let's say, science, actually, let's just go to corporate pod because we can mess up our corporate pod and change it pretty easily. So I want to add an FAQ. I'm going to pick up general Joticle questions. What is a JOT? This would be a JOT, of course. And then what you want to do is attach an image to be the cover of your JOT. I'm just going to pick whatever I have available on my desktop. Or do I have a download that I can use? Here, I'll just use a logo. Okay, and so I've added an image to this JOT. It's a story JOT. If it was a video JOT, it would give me a link to a URL. You can include all sorts of, we're expanding it, but right now it's YouTube, I think TikTok, and we have SoundCloud for audio. And these are going to be expanded as we go. These are the more popular ones, so that's what we're launching with, and we'll be adding to those as we go. So now I just share the Jot, and I have to have content of a specific amount of length. We don't want people just posting memes, and we want some substantial content where they can just do what I just did. But the idea is, if you want your Jot to be taken seriously, you actually provide a good description. I guess that's not 200. All right, so this is saved successfully. Now, we are now in the general Joticle questions where I just posted my Jot. So you can see the other Jots that I've created related to general Joticle questions. What does the word mean? What is a learning pod? And what is the Joticle story? And these link to video with even more description. So the really nice thing is you can have a video and then really expand upon that micro-learning concept and add more reference links and kind of take it where you want to, or the expert or the educator can take it where they want to. Right now, within a personal pod, you can kind of build your own story. The learning pods are controlled by the experts and the educators. So here's the Jot I just wrote, real simple, nonsensical one. But I will take this moment to go into the back end of our system, which is our proprietary administration CMS LMS system. And we'll be able to go into where my Jot that I just created. This is all how we manage the entire platform: integrations, importing tags, the achievements, the gamification. Everything's done with our CMS LMS system, and we have more integrations. It's an open API, and we can do a lot with this platform when it comes to scalability, especially when it comes to integrating with partners. So, not happy with this one. I'm going to delete on my end the Jot, and if I go back to Joticle, it'll no longer be there. And that is basically the core feature of what a Jot is. And so as you're deep diving through all these different topics, as we have the experts adding content, and individuals can participate and submit their Jots for consideration to be included in the learning pod outside of just their personal pod. When you subscribe and you have the ability to contribute, the gamification leads to rewards, as well as you being able to sell, send link people to your Etsy store. All your social media is integrated into this. And that's a big goal of what we wanted to do, is to not keep people focused on just, we want them to share their entire experience. We want them to share their world about that topic. And so that becomes the community, and it's very open from a learning perspective and a research perspective. And that's the overall platform. The scalability, again, is the biggest part of it. We're going to be adding other features as we go to include in-app purchases. The gamification badges right now are limited to early adopter and expert. And this will be changing rapidly as we're working with UC Davis to build out our gamification program. And this is a student-led project that we're working on with our internal team and their team, as well as our KPI for our CMS system. So that is Joticle, and we hope we can inspire some topic learning with you.